Responsible is not a word.
We made it up.
Well, unmake it up.
All right, Walt Disney goes through hoops to get Mary Poppins on the big screen. Tom Hanks plays the famous filmmaker, and Emma Thompson is the writer P.L. Travers in Saving Mr. Banks. Your movie friend Aaron Dicer joins us this morning. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about this one.
I loved it. Saving Mr. Banks is a really, really good movie. Lots of fun, great humor, and what's really interesting about this one is it goes behind the scenes of the Mary Poppins story in a way that you're probably not familiar with, in a way that really brings a lot of light on what that character meant to this writer and who her family was, and kind of goes back and forth between the story of making the movie and the story of her life. And it's a really powerful and fun film. I really liked it.
So Paul Giamatti and Colin Farrell also star in this one. Anyone particularly
I mean,
stand
everybody's
out?
Good. You know, Tom Hanks is great as Walt Disney. Both those guys are great, but Emma Thompson is the shining light in this. She is the one who stands out, I think, as far as acting goes. She's incredible as this woman who is dealing with this thing she's created, and she just wants it to be what she wants it to be, and she knows Disney wants it to be something that she doesn't quite want it to be, and them trying to fight their way through that creative process. And she is really, really astounding in this. Really good.
So some of the clips make it look kind of funny. Comedy, drama.
It's both, and it handles both very well. It goes back and forth very, very well in this movie. So you'll find yourself both laughing and being moved.
All right, so is this one we're going to be watching come awards season?
You know, I think in a few ways. You may see it get a Best Picture nomination. It'll squeeze in there. It's not going to win Best Picture. If anything, if it wins anything, I'm guessing Emma Thompson as actress might be the one that it might pull off. Also, writing is really, really good in this. So I think you'll see it get nominated a few times, but I don't think it's going to be one of those big horses at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle. Those movies are going to be more the ones you'll see overall.
Okay, so best thing, worst thing, and overall on this one?
Yeah, best thing about this is the source material. Just getting the real life story behind Mary Poppins is really, really powerful. That was my favorite thing. Worst thing, it is a little Disney-fied, and what I mean by that is it seems like it should be a little more dramatic than it is. And what's interesting is she didn't want Disney to Disney-fy Mary Poppins, and now they may have actually Disney-fied her own life, you know, because Disney made this movie. So they have a vested interest in making everything come up roses.
Disney-fy, did you make that word up?
I think I did, yes. I didn't find it in the dictionary.
We're going to go with it. All right, overall grade?
The overall grade, I'd say an A-. This is a really good movie.
Okay, cool. All right, movie number 2.
Brick is dead!
No, Brick's alive.
Brick is dead! Look at him!
He's not dead. He's not dead, Brick. You're not dead.
Brick, it's you! He's dead!
No.
You are Brick. Touch yourself.
I am Brick!
Stay classy. Ron Burgundy and company are teaming up again, taking the nation's first 24-hour news channel by storm. Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, is finally in theaters. Obviously, a lot of work for the fans' first one work here. And as with all sequels, it is often hard to duplicate the first film's success. So, does this one work, is the question.
You know, did you think that was funny?
Yeah.
Then it works. I mean, that's Anchorman 2 is Anchorman 1. You know, I mean, there's a little bit different. I don't think it's quite as quotable as the first one, but of course that comes in time, but the humor is the same. And what I like about these movies is they have a very well-defined sense of humor, and it's very unique. It's, you know, it's very surreal and abstract, and Will Ferrell, he just says these things that have no place in reality and just take you so off guard that they're really, really funny. So yeah, the sense of humor works just like the first one does. And think of this, this was almost a decade ago that the first one came out.
Seriously?
Almost 10 years ago the first Anchorman came out.
That's crazy.
All this time later, I think they found kind of that rhythm that they had in the first one. And if you liked the first one, I can almost guarantee you'll like this one.
So is there really a storyline, or is it more just the comedy?
No, there is a storyline here. And sometimes I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing. I mean, I like it as a story nerd. I want to see those motivations. But when you go to a movie like this, I don't know that you necessarily care about the plot mechanics and the character motivations. You just want to laugh. So there are some times in this where it slows down a little bit because they're dealing with that story. And during those stretches, it does kind of lose a little bit of that momentum. But I mean, I kind of like that because I like to know the story. But for some, I think that might be a little bit of a turnoff.
Okay, and just FYI, a lot of my coworkers last night went to see this.
Yeah?
Like the midnight showing,
what was the
which
response?
is hilarious.
Did you get a response?
I've only seen the pictures from the night, and it looks like they had a fantastic time.
Yeah,
But I haven't actually talked to anyone.
It's
because I didn't want to call
really
up my
funny.
babe and be like, hey, what's up?
No,
How was
I
it?
totally get that. I will also mention it is PG-13, and a lot of times when you deal with a PG-13 movie, you have this idea. This really stretches the PG-13 rating. Just as a heads up as a parent,
Right.
you know, this one pushes that limit with, you know, innuendo and different things is about as far as it can,
Right.
subject matter and that kind of
So
stuff. So
if
just
you're
be
going
aware.
to take your teenagers, you better beware.
Yeah, just be aware they really do push that rating in this movie.
Okay, so by the way, when you said Will Ferrell will go, it took me a second because I just know him as Ron Burgundy now, and I was like, who? Who's Will? Okay, so best thing, worst thing, and overall grade on this one?
Sure. The best thing for me was the final stretch of this movie. There is this surreal, there are these cameos that people pop up in this movie. You're like, are they in this? They're in this? And then it just goes completely insane for about 10 minutes. And I really, really enjoyed that. That was my best thing. Worst thing are those story stalls that we talked about, where it kind of slows down a little bit to get to the story and you just kind of lose that momentum of the laughter and the humor. Overall, still a really good movie. I'd go with the B.
Okay, B. I'll
Yep.
take it for comedy, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Aaron Dicer. And last week we kind of ran out of time, and we don't have a lot of time right now, but
No, that's
Critics'
fine.
Choice Awards
nominations came out Monday. I'm proud to be a member of this group that you know does these nominations, and the awards are the 16th of January. I'm really proud of some of these nominations. Scarlett Johansson in the movie Her got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She's never seen in the movie at all. It's just her voice. This is kind of groundbreaking that somebody could get nominated for an acting award and never appear on screen.
Wow, that's impressive.
So I was really proud of that. And also there's a documentary we nominated that I really think people would enjoy. It's called Tim's Vermeer, and it's about this guy who creates an old Dutch painting just by using mirrors and lenses that they might have had at the time, almost proving that this Dutch painter may have kind of, quote unquote, cheated with his art. It's kind of made it paint by numbers. So it's a really, really intriguing look at this. So I was really glad to see that nominated as well. Lots of great nominations I'm looking forward to. As far as Best Picture, I think it's going to come down to 3 movies, which I mentioned, 12 Years a Slave, and American Hustle, and then also Gravity might sneak in there, but I think it'll be one of those first 2. 12 Years a Slave seems like the favorite as far as award season goes so far.
Okay, cool. Well, it'll be fun to watch.
Yep.
See if he's right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
We'll see you next week. All right, one more look at today's forecast. Stay with us.